Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the third segment of Huda Tonight. I'm your host, Janita, and in this third segment, we're going to look at a different topic, still focusing on the heart. But this time, the topic is about Al-Qalb Al-Hay, the living heart. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was known to make lots of dua. He would repeat, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. He would say, O the owner of the hearts, O the owner of the hearts, make my heart firm upon your deen. The Prophet ﷺ, he told us that our body consists of a mudgha, of a muscle. That if this muscle is good, the whole body will be good. But if this muscle is corrupt, or there are problems with this heart, then the whole body will be corrupt. And he said this is nothing other than the heart. So our topic today is that the living heart. How can we bring our hearts alive? How can we remove this harshness from our heart and bring it alive? Joining me in the studio today is our well-known guest, Brother Ala Arif, a graduate from Al-Azhar University, if I'm correct.
Yes,
I'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, brother, the topic today, we're looking at the living heart.
Yes.
If we could possibly break down today's discussion into a number of different segments, want to look at what is the living heart? You know, what makes the heart alive? What are its signs? And secondly, looking at the dead heart, or the heart which is corrupt. How do we know that this person's heart there's a problem here, or my heart, there is a problem with my heart? And finally, inshallah, if you can conclude by giving us some advice on how we can be from amongst those whose heart is alive and is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right, inshallah.
So, if we begin, could you tell us some of the signs on how, the signs of a living heart, basically?
Thank you for having me today.
No problem.
So, as you have just mentioned about the heart and the living heart, and you said that the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ala inna fil jasadi mudghah, إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب."
Okay.
So there is like a morsel of flesh in the body. If this morsel of flesh is sound and perfected, the whole body is perfect. And if this morsel of flesh is diseased, the whole body is diseased.
Okay.
This morsel of flesh is called the heart. So the heart of a Muslim is the core for everything, is the standard for everything, for our physical actions, for our feelings, the heart.
Okay.
Everything revolves in the heart, revolves around the heart.
Okay.
So the heart is like the seed for everything.
Okay.
If this seed is good, so our plant will be good.
I read an example similar to like the plant example of the heart is like the king.
Yes.
And the rest of the body, they are like soldiers.
Followers.
They are like followers.
Yes. So if the king is a great one, so the followers will do great things.
Okay.
So if your heart is sound, and perfect, so your actions will be perfect and will be good, will be on the proper way. And Allah and the Prophet ﷺ said also in another hadith, إن الله لا ينظر إلى أجسادكم ولا إلى صوركم ولكن الله ينظر إلى قلوبكم.
Okay.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not count your appearance, your body, or your image.
Okay.
Your image and your body are not important. But what is important is your heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will count what is in the heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will count us on what we have here. The Prophet ﷺ said this hadith and pointed at his chest.
Okay.
And said that Allah will look at this, will look at what is in your heart. And this is supported by the hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ.
Okay.
So if your niyyah, if your intention is sound, so your heart is good, and so your actions.
What follows a good intention will most likely be good.
Sure. So and we're going to move forward and to have the division of the heart, as Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy on him.
Okay.
So he mentioned that we have three types of heart.
Okay.
The living heart, or the Salim heart,
Okay.
And then we have the dead heart and the ill or diseased heart.
Okay.
So we have three types. The first type is the sound.
The sound heart.
Yes, the dead.
The dead heart.
And then the ill or the sick heart.
And this heart we want to bring and try to bring it to the good side.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
let's
inshallah. So the first heart is the sound one.
Okay.
The secured one.
Right.
The secured from any dirt, from any doubt, from any temptation, from any desire.
Okay.
This heart is the salim in the Arabic translation for it. It's salim.
Right.
It's sound from any disease. It's perfect. It's only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. So the day where nothing or neither wealth or sons will be avail,
Okay.
except the one who come to Allah with a sound heart, with a salim heart.
So this salim, sound heart, from this ayah we can clearly tell is far more important on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Day of Judgment,
Yes.
than any wealth or any number of children that you have.
Anything. This heart that is clean and clear of shirk.
Okay.
So in this heart, you fear only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So is it fair to say that the interpretation of qalb salim, that a sound heart is a heart which is full of tawheed,
Yes.
monotheism, and
Yes.
is free from any forms of shirk,
from any forms of shirk.
worshipping idols
Yes,
or
like
sons or
supplication.
gods.
When you supplicate,
Okay.
when you swear,
Okay.
you swear by Allah only. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man halifa bi ghayri Allahi faqad ashrak." If you swear by something except away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you are now you have partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you just joined someone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your swear. So when you swear, you have to swear with Allah only. You should say wallahi, tallahi, billahi,
Okay.
all these kinds of words. So your heart should be clean from anything except worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
So this is the salim heart.
Right.
And this is the living heart.
Okay.
The heart that is alive. When you hear anything, when you hear any advice, when you hear any verses from the Quran, so just your heart is working.
Will easily absorb,
Yes.
like a
because
sponge with water.
because it's
easily take it
awake.
in.
It's awake. Your heart is awake. All the time it's on alert. All the time.
Is it also fair to say that this qalb salim, this sound heart, is a heart which is free from hasad, which is jealousy?
Yes.
It is free from any type of animosity, that you may have hatred towards a person. Is it fair to say that this is from...
Yes, this is salim from anything, from
Okay.
any bad thoughts, from anything. This heart is just perfected. This heart is free from, as you said, greed, hatred, and all these things.
Okay.
Then we'll be moving to dead heart.
Okay.
It's dead. So this means that there is no life in this heart. No life. And this heart doesn't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doesn't know His Lord. So this means that he's going to follow his desires. He's going to follow his desires no matter they please Allah or not, because it's a dead heart. It's a dead heart. And Allah said about this heart, ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. So Allah has set a seal on their hearts and on their hearings, on their ears, and also over their vision there is a veil.
And subhanAllah, how scary is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's setting the seal. It is the one who is closing the ears, the eyes, and the heart. If Allah is the one who's closing, who will open?
It's over.
It's over.
It's over. You have to go back to Allah subhanahu
As
wa ta'ala.
they say in the West, game over.
Yes, it's a game over for sure. So it's sealed. It's sealed. These hearts are sealed.
Could we say that another characteristic of this dead heart is that when this heart commits a sin or disobeys Allah, it doesn't feel anything. It's okay, he can commit sins after sins and he doesn't feel any remorse or he doesn't feel guilty at all. Is that
Yes,
correct?
and this is what the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, and he told us the mu'min will not do a sin and while he is mu'min. This means that when you do a sin, your iman is down.
Right.
So because iman goes up and down, so if your iman is down, so it's easy to commit a sin. So this is the dead heart. So let's move to the diseased heart, and this is our concern.
Okay.
So this heart has life, but also has some defects.
It's almost like we are heart surgeons trying to perform an operation.
Yes.
And we're going to take this heart and rectify its affairs, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah, we'll try as possible as we can.
Okay.
So this heart has life,
Okay.
and also has, you know, some defects and some faults. So sometimes when this heart, you know, the person who has this heart, he can save his heart and himself, and he can devastate himself. So you have two ways, and this heart has two ways: whether you secure yourself or whether you devastate yourself or destroy yourself and kill yourself.
Okay.
Allah said, أَفَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا أَوْ آذَانٌ يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارُ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارُ. You know, it's not their vision that is sightless,
Okay.
but it's about what is blind is their hearts. The blind here, their heart.
So it's a metaphorical language, not
Yes.
talking about the eyes, but talking about the heart.
So, you know, the eyes are not sightless, but what is blind is their hearts.
Okay.
So here's the problem. This is the diseased heart. This is the diseased heart, and you need to sit with yourself in order, if you have this, you know, if you have a diseased heart, so you need to clear yourself from these desires. And as we said earlier, that we have two diseases for the heart.
So is it possible, can we say that the dead heart, like we said, doesn't feel anything? So when it commits a sin or disobeys Allah, it's
over.
It's over.
Yeah.
But
And this
heart
is
that
the heart of a kafir, of a disbeliever.
Okay, so, and this heart that we're talking about now, we're talking about believers who have some sins or have some weaknesses.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that this believer, that when he commits a sin or he makes a mistake, that he's got a diseased heart because he's obviously committing the sin, but he is conscious that Allah is watching and that this is wrong, so he feels the pain.
Yes.
Is this
He's
correct?
suffering.
He is
He's suffering because, you know, while he's doing something wrong, he knows there's something inside his heart telling him that this is wrong and he shouldn't have done this. These are the two ways of this heart.
Okay.
This is the diseased heart.
Okay.
All right. As I said, we have two diseases of the heart. The first disease is desires,
Okay.
and the second one is misconceptions or doubts. So if you have doubts in your heart, misconceptions, so this will lead you to a diseased heart.
So
or
like they would say in Arabic, you would say like shahawat, which is desires,
shahawat
and
and
you say
shubuhat.
shubuhat, which
Yes.
is doubts.
Yes,
Okay.
doubts and desires.
Okay.
Also desires, you know, we are following our desires. You know, for example, the internet. Some people spend lots of time on the internet,
Okay.
just looking for something or just sitting, wasting time. Or watching a movie, or watching a match, for example.
Okay.
So all of this, these are your desires. You're following your desires. So here, this gonna affect your heart.
Okay.
Because you're following your heart, no matter it attracts you to, or it appeals to. So you need to stop and think about this.
But could we say that all desires are bad? Can we say that all desires are bad, or is it such that some desires take us too far and make us cross the hudud, the boundaries of Islam? So for example, a desire, I desire to eat, for example. I like food, so I eat, but I transgress the
too much.
bounds and I eat too much, and
Yes.
because of that I fell asleep and I missed my prayers.
Yes. So I have to, you know, why I'm eating. So I have to know that I'm eating in order to pray. Not I'm eating for eating.
For sleeping.
You know, not for eating itself.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a means for doing something else. If you just keep following your desire, so it's going to fool you at the end. It's going to kill you at the end.
So we can say that each desire has its limits.
Yes, everything has a limit. If you just leave yourself, you cannot stop yourself.
Okay.
All right? Then, as we said, the doubts. Someone will come to you and tell you like there's a problem here, or just, misinterpret any verses of the Quran in order to let you go astray, and you follow this because you don't know.
Okay.
You don't have any knowledge. So that's why you follow him, and you follow these people, the people who innovate in deen.
Okay.
So the innovation in deen, this is following their doubts and their misconceptions.
So for the viewers who may be new and not quite understand, what does it mean by innovation? Like somebody who adds something extra to the deen,
In deen.
and makes something which is not compulsory.
Yes, something's not compulsory. For example, something is not mentioned
Right.
in Sunnah or in Quran. So just he invented something, and people follow.
Okay.
This is, as we say it in Arabic, this is bid'ah or innovation.
Okay.
This is innovation, and we've seen this clear nowadays.
So for example, if we know we have 2 Eids in the year, so if
Yes.
somebody came with a 3rd Eid, we would say this
now
is
we have thousands of Eids.
yeah, unfortunately, but this we could say is a type of Eid.
Yes, this is bid'ah.
A type of bid'ah, sorry.
Yes, this is innovation. Yeah, so this is following what? Doubts and misconceptions. So what is the solution for the doubts or these 2 diseases of the heart?
Okay, so now what we're effectively doing is we've categorized the heart as 3. We said the alive heart,
Yes.
we said the dead heart, and we said the heart which is between the 2.
He has 2 urges. This heart has 2 urges. An urge for good and urge for bad.
And the thing which is pulling this heart back is the 2 Ds, desire
Yes.
and doubts.
Yes.
So now we're going to try to provide some solutions to take this heart from here to this side.
Yes.
To the good side.
the side that we want to.
Okay, I want to hear these solutions.
Yes.
What's the first
so
one?
the first thing is knowledge.
Okay.
The good knowledge, not you have to know. You have
Okay.
to seek knowledge. If you seek knowledge, you will know what are the desires. You will know how to stop the desires. And if you have knowledge, no one will fool you. No one will mislead you,
Okay.
because you know.
Okay.
So no one will come to you and tell you, here means what? Means that and that. No, I know what is meant, because the Prophet said that and that and that. So you know. If you know, no one will, destroy your life.
I think a good example of that, because I mentioned this before about food, is that if you don't have the knowledge, you will eat so much. But if you know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he said, a third is for air, a third is for the food, and a third is for the water.
Yes.
So now when you're eating, the next time that we eat, we will have, inshallah, we will only fill in a third for food.
Yes, and also the other hadith that, like, when we eat, we are the people who eat, not just eat. When we eat, we don't fill
Right.
our stomach. It's not full, like say I'm full up. No,
Okay.
just we eat just in order to be able to
Perform
work.
our activities.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I just gave the example of food because that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yes.
But we can also take that for ibadat, for worship as well. If you
Yes.
don't have the knowledge, you don't know how many rak'at to pray. How many, when you're praying dhuhr, you're going to do 4 or 5 or 3.
Yes.
You don't know. But
Yes.
ilm, the knowledge will allow you to understand that.
Yes, knowledge is the key for success.
Okay.
All right. So let's move to the heart treatment, this diseased heart, and we're trying to
So
treat.
the first pill is knowledge.
Yes,
What's the second one?
yes. The second one is the Quran.
Okay.
The Quran, nowadays we are away from the Quran. We just, even people who seek knowledge, by the way, they focus on seeking knowledge, reading books, and they just leave short time or little time for Quran, or they might not read the Quran in one day, for example,
Okay.
because they are focusing on reading this book and finishing this book and so on, and they are leaving the Quran.
Okay.
Allah said, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا.
Subhanallah.
So why you don't ponder and think deep in the Quran, or your hearts are sealed?
Right.
All right. So, and the Prophet ﷺ said, مثل الذي يذكر ربه والذي لا يذكر ربه كمثل الحي والميت. The person who remembers Allah and the person that doesn't remember Allah is like the dead and the living.
I think this ayah that you quoted about tadabbur,
Yes.
contemplation, I think it's very important, especially for our viewers that maybe are non-Arabs, because alhamdulillah Huda TV reaches out to people from Africa, people in Asia, people in the States now, in the UK. So, you know, we really advise our viewers that when they're reading the Quran, not to just read the Arabic, because alhamdulillah they can read the Arabic, but like you said, at-tadabbur, meaning
To understand.
to understand. So if your language is different to Arabic, take your language, read the ayah in your language as well as the Arabic, and contemplate.
Understand it, because
Understand.
if you don't understand, you'll not be able to do to apply what is in the ayah.
I mean, of course, you get the hasanat for reading. We know the hadith of Prophet ﷺ where he said that every letter is hasanat. So we encourage people to read. But what we're saying here for the heart is for it to contemplate upon the meanings of what's being read.
Yes. So the Quran, this is very important in our life. If we're looking for happiness, we have to read Quran at our houses.
Inshallah.
The next one, the heart is in need to 3 things.
Okay.
So what are the 3 things? The first thing is feeding it. You
Okay.
have to feed as you feed your body, you need to feed your heart. Recharge your iman, your faith.
Okay.
From time to time, if you have a car, from time to time you need to recharge the car in order to keep going.
Take it for a service.
Yes. So now your heart, you have to take it for a service. You have to recharge your iman, because as we said, the iman goes up and down according to your ta'ah, according to your worshipping. If you worship Allah more, your iman is up. If you just worship Allah less, your iman is down.
Okay.
So you have to feed the heart, recharge your heart with iman, increasing your iman by doing good deeds. All right? So this is the first thing. The second thing,
Okay.
you have to go on diet. You have to put this heart on diet.
Today
I mean,
everything
diet,
is about food.
diet. Yeah, diet on what?
Okay.
You know, staying away from any sins. This is the diet.
Okay.
Not from food. You don't stay away from food. No, stay away from.
Abstaining from sins.
Yes, this is the diet. What I mean
Okay.
here, and the wrongdoings. You know, stay away from doing sins and bad things and bad stuff. You have to stay away. Block the way.
Okay.
Block the way to shaitan. All right. The third thing is clearing the heart from any dirt. Clearing the heart from any dirt. So the first one is feeding it, feeding the heart,
Diet.
and then
Purification.
yes,
Okay.
purify your heart, because all of us has some desires and have some stuff here. So you need to purify your heart.
Okay.
So this is the third thing. We said at the beginning, knowledge.
The first pill was knowledge.
Yes. Then
The second pill was Al-Quran.
Yes.
And the third pill, you gave us 3 things inside this pill.
Yeah. That 3 things that the heart needs. Yes. So we said feeding the heart, and then going on diet,
Okay.
and purification, or
Okay.
clearing the heart from any dirt or doubt or any
Fantastic.
misconception.
Okay.
Yes.
We have 2 minutes to go.
Yes.
If you could give us some more solutions or some more of these answers.
Yes. I'm moving on to the fourth one.
Okay.
Dealing with self-domination. You know, the self
Okay.
dominates on the person. How to deal with this domination of the self? Like the self controls you. You have to work. You have to deal with this self with some wisdom.
When you say self, are we referring to, like in Arabic, you would say an-nafs?
Yes, your
Okay.
soul.
Your soul.
Yes. You have 2 ways in order to deal with yourself or with your soul. The first one is disobeying it.
Okay.
Disobey yourself or your soul. If yourself or soul wants you to do something wrong, you have to disobey it. You have to abstaining to abstain from doing this thing. And then muhasabah. You have to
Hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to be an accountant. And you have to take care of yourself.
Okay.
All right? You have to be aware of yourself. So this muhasabah has two kinds. Before and after. Before doing the action and after doing the action. Before doing the action, you say, why I'm doing this?
Okay.
And how. Because the two things that can make your action accepted is how and why. Why? For the sake of Allah.
So
Sincerity.
We come back to what we were discussing in the beginning of the intention.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So sincerity, this is why. How? Ittiba', following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Beautiful.
So any action to be accepted, so as I said, sincerity for the sake of Allah, and it's only for Allah, no one and no partner with Allah with it, and how? As the Prophet did.
Okay.
All right? So this is the first thing. This is before. After. So you have to tell yourself, if you did something good, but not appropriate. So you have to count on yourself. This is good, but I didn't do it on the proper way.
So this is where the muhasabah, the accountability.
Yes, after doing the action.
Right.
So you did it, you did something good, but not on the right way. So you have to count this.
Okay.
The second thing, doing what is better not to be done. It's better not to do this action, and you did it. So you tell yourself, why I did this? It was better not to do it. To blame yourself for doing something.
Regret.
To regret. Yes. And then not doing something permissible. If there's something permissible and you didn't do it, why? So tell yourself why.
Okay.
So you tell yourself after doing the action, if you did something good, not in the proper way, so you tell yourself why you did not on the proper way. Or you did something, it's better not to be done.
Okay, Brother Ala, we've come towards the end of the show. Would you like to give the viewers some golden advice just before we leave in the last 30 seconds?
The best thing is just be aware of your heart.
Okay.
Deal with your heart. You are the judge for yourself. Stop looking at people and say this person doing that and this person. Just be busy with yourself. Be busy with yourself.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming and giving us your experiences and your knowledge on this topic.
Thank you.
Really appreciate everything you did for us today. Dear viewers, you are the most important. You're the ones who contribute and give us your feedback. Like we heard from Brother Ala, that there are three types of heart: the living heart and the dead heart. And then there is the heart which is in between. Inshallah, we are not from those who have a dead heart. And those of us who are from the heart which is in between, which has some diseases, you heard some golden advices. Seek knowledge, read the Quran, go on a diet. Now I don't mean with food. I mean go on a diet, meaning look at yourself and abstain from any type of sin. And inshallah we will be from amongst those that have a qalb salim, that have a good heart. Until our next episode, I'll see you then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.